So hello and welcome back. My name is Tolly Bryn. Today's video is about meaning. You're watching The Joy of Awareness, and before we go on, I would like to ask you to like and subscribe to this video if you value my content, if you want more of it, and if you want to help me share these universal truths with other people, because I think this stuff is really important, and if you do too, then you can help me out by doing that. Also, if you want to dive deeper into these subjects that I'm talking about, you can check out my website. I'll leave the link in the bio. And you can check out my book as well, Health Simplified. In it, I go into my own sort of awakening, especially with regards to health and how to find it and maintain it and never lose it again. And I think you'll really enjoy it. I'll leave the link for that in the bio as well. But for today, I wanted to talk about meaning. And I wanted to talk about what problems we have with meaning, especially in like the self-help world and the spiritual world. Like this is a problem that I've had myself for a long time, is just what is meaning? How do I find it? Where is it to be found in the first place and all that stuff? And what I've learned recently is that meaning is not found. Meaning is not discovered. Meaning is created. We are meaning creating machines. We humans, we create meaning in everything around us, both in the form of words. Like this plant here is just a plant simply because I have the word for a plant in my head. That makes it a plant. It's not inherently a plant, and it would not be a plant if I wasn't there to label it. In the same way, when we try to find deeper meaning, we're often met with, absolutely nothing, because I wouldn't say there is no meaning in the universe, but meaning is what we make of it, I should say instead. And that's something that I have had a few hard knocks with recently, but I feel like I'm kind of figuring it out now, and especially after I started really taking responsibility for the way I think, for where I want to go in life, for the intention that I set for every single day and every single night before I go to bed. Like my life goal, my life mission, what is it that I want to see in the world? Like, who is the ideal person that I would like to be? And all these things are a way of creating meaning. The meaning wasn't there before I started doing these things. I made a commitment to creating meaning. And a point that I'd like to make is that as a sufferer of depression myself, I've gone through long periods of just like really heavy depression, like feeling really bad, and especially when I was really sick a few years ago. If you want to learn more about that and how I overcame it, you can check out my earlier videos on fasting and on health. But suffice it to say, I was just super depressed, and I was really, really anxious, and I just felt really, really bad. And obviously, a large part of overcoming that was, in fact, improving my body, figuring out what needed to be done to be healthy, and doing that consistently. But in order to be able to do that, I needed to find meaning. I needed to understand that there was more to life, that there was divinity within me that needed space, needed energy in order to work its magic. And this is getting pretty esoteric, but I've found that much of life is pretty esoteric, so you'll just have to bear with me here. I found that depression in my own life was a result of a lack of meaning. And that goes really, really deep. So even the depression that I was feeling around my lack of health, my really bad health, was simply because I didn't feel enough purpose or enough meaning in my life in order to do what needed to be done to overcome my illness. Even though I had all the tools, I had access to the internet, I could research everything, and I did. And I found fasting, for instance, and for many years after I discovered fasting and I discovered the enormous benefits of fasting, I was reluctant to do it. And the reason was, why give up pleasures in the now in order to maybe get healthy in the future? It wasn't until I realized that by making the commitment, by saying, I'm going to fast, I'm going to fix myself, I'm going to become the best person that I can be, that things started to actually get better. And brings me to my next point, which is that gratitude is mental alchemy. In order to continue on the path of creating meaning in our lives, I believe gratitude is absolutely essential. Because if we don't consistently thank whatever divine powers there may be for what it is that we are blessed with in this life, our blessings will constantly go in through one ear and out the other. They will constantly pass us by without our noticing. We need to consciously notice and pay attention to our blessings in order for them to multiply. And I was stuck in a terrible cycle of not acknowledging the awesome things in my life. Like every night I'd go to sleep and I was just so anxious and so depressed over so many different things, and that's not to say that I didn't have problems and I didn't have things that I needed to solve and figure out, and that my life was easy. It wasn't that at all. It was that there were so many things that were so awesome in my life that really just were such a blessing in themselves that I might not, like, it would have been so easy for me not to have them at all. It would be so easy for me not to be here at all if we go into that. So these are just crazy things that we seem to forget. Like, be grateful for what you have. And I'm not trying to make little of any problems you might have or any illness. Like, believe me, I've had my own troubles, but gratitude is mental alchemy. Gratitude turns lead to gold. It turns depression to a feeling of just divine bliss. Just try it out. You'll love it. Just make a commitment every evening and every morning, and especially in the evening before you go to bed. Make a commitment to just remind yourself of like 7 things that you are grateful for. It can be your health, your family, your mother, your father, your sister, or it can be your home, or your children, or your dog, or your legs that they take you from A to B so efficiently. Like there's just so many things to thank for, and in fact they're endless. Like I can thank the Lord for my windows, that they keep the wind outside and let me look at the world outside at the same time. Like stuff like this, There's just so much to be thankful for. Like my wool socks, they keep my feet warm. Like these are not trivial things. They may seem trivial, but they're not. Just thank whatever it is you want to thank for whatever it is you want to thank for. And your life will start improving. Finally, I wanted to say that health is not only a choice, because it is a choice, it is also an obligation. And what do I mean by that? And why is that connected to meaning? Well, the thing is, in order for you to actually achieve your purpose, to achieve your mission and your, well, to grow into the meaning that you've created for yourself, a healthy body and a healthy mind is a prerequisite. And you'll come to find, as you develop your own sense of meaning, that whatever it is that you want to achieve, the reason for you achieving it is not for yourself, even though you will benefit greatly from achieving your own purpose. It is for the world around you. It's for the people that you love and for society as a whole. Can you imagine the immense power of one person, just one person, who commits himself or herself to being perfect, or as close to perfect as they can possibly be with regards to their values, their ideals, and their purpose in life? Can you imagine the impact that a person like that can have? Think Gandhi, think Martin Luther King, think Jesus, think all of these great sages, Mother Teresa, Marie Curie, all these people who have improved the world in incredible ways, that have impacted their close societies in just incredible ways, and in ways that sent waves, shockwaves out into the world hundreds of years later even. And I really like to think about the guy who stopped the tank at the Tiananmen Square protests in 1989. If you haven't seen that, just check it out. It's such a powerful video, and I have no idea who that guy is, what happened to him next, like, but the incredible, just I get goosebumps from thinking about it. Just this guy walking with his shopping bags, he sees these tanks on the way to, scare the crap out of protesters at Tiananmen Square, and he's just like, no, you're not going anywhere, and he just runs in front of the tank and stops it, and the tank tries to turn past him and all this, and it's just amazing. And I think this is a principle that I would like to dive into further, and I've heard it referred to as the David and Goliath principle, that even in the face of overwhelming odds, light always trumps darkness. It is simply manifesting that light, committing to that light, which is the hard part. Light trumps darkness. You see that when you point a flashlight into a dark attic, like the darkness goes because light is more powerful. And this is certainly something to keep in mind. I would like to, even though I said that would be the last point, I'd like to ask one more thing of you, and that is to follow your dreams and watch the planets align. And what I mean by that is that as soon as you've identified your values, identified the meaning that you wish to create in your life, because once again, this isn't about finding your purpose, or looking for your spirit animal, or whatever it is to tell you what it is you're supposed to do here, even though that is probably a pretty like if you can go into your dreams and find your spirit animal and ask them to tell you what your purpose is, that's probably going to be a pretty good purpose. But regardless, like as you develop this meaning, the sense of meaning in your life, and you discover what it is that you want in your life and what you don't want, and you start following that, every single day that you commit to making this your life, making your life into this purpose, into this meaning, things will start aligning around you. And I should put a caveat there. So long as you are following universal principles, things will start aligning around you. It is certainly possible to create a meaning of, I will make money while giving no regard to the health of other people. For instance, like the unnamed CEOs of unnamed companies that create drugs and pharmaceuticals. These people are destroying lives and making money off it, but they, believe me, these people have their own problems, and they will be way, way, way worse than anything they stand to gain, no matter how much money they make. These people are doomed. They are in hell already. They are not going to hell. They are in hell. And I will promise you that. But as I said, planets will align when you start following a true, universally principled purpose. Things will just start clicking for you, and it'll be awesome. And I feel it in my own life. Even though I'm not where exactly I want to be, I'm still in such a way better place than I've ever been before. My health is better than it's ever been. My wealth is getting more every single day, and I'm understanding the value exchange and assets and liabilities and all this stuff that are so important to living a abundant life. My relationships are getting better because I'm speaking the truth. I'm not hiding anymore. So many things to be thankful for, and I hope you will find that you also have a million things to be thankful for, no matter what your circumstances. It's not a question of acting like everything is hunky-dory, like everything is just okay, and just think positive, man, that'll fix everything. It's not about that at all. It's about choosing to focus on what is positive, and choosing to create that energy and to direct that energy into fixing what it is that you can fix and accepting what it is that you cannot fix. It's a question of serenity and of courage. So I'll leave you with that. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said before, like and subscribe. Check out my book down below, Health Simplified. I love it, and you will love it as well. Um, especially if you are seeking to overcome chronic illness, as I was, especially the autoimmune variety of chronic illness, which is, yeah, there are so many people dealing with just terrifying illness, and I really, really hope that myself and my book and my website and all the stuff that I'm doing here will help somebody crawl out of the pit of despair that follows, long-standing chronic illness. I have been there myself. I have felt absolutely terrible, and I have found my health again through time-tested principles, through fasting, through connecting with the divine, through simplification, all these things. It's so simple. Check out my book. You'll love it. Finally, I hope you have an awesome new year. I hope that this year will be 1,000 times better than the year before. And it will be if you decide to make it so. Peace.